Welcome to MetroArts. I'm your host, Naksheen Naseef. Here on MetroArts, we highlight some of the best in the business, from fine artists, photographers, and performing artists to cinematographers and musical artists, all from the Metro Detroit area. On today's show, we have Professor and Director of Orchestral Studies at Wayne State University, Kypros Markou, Film Director Lance Kawas, and Jazzy NeoSoul recording artist ZanYe. We'd now like to welcome Professor Kypros Markou to MetroArts. Hi, thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure.
So you're a professor at the Department of Music
Yes.
and the Director of Orchestral Studies at Wayne State. Can you tell us about your work here at Wayne State?
Yes, my primary responsibility, of course, is the university orchestra, and also a program that I initiated, Orchestral Studies, which is for people who already have completed a degree and they want to focus particularly in playing in orchestras.
Okay, so you're also the music director at the Dearborn Symphony Orchestra, and you conduct. How are those different compared to being a professor?
Well, the one is a university orchestra where we have even freshmen in or young people developing their skills and acquiring knowledge. And with Dearborn is more professional. So in practical terms, with the university orchestra, I would have 12 to 14 rehearsals to prepare a program. In Dearborn, I get 3 or 4.
So how many years are the professionals? How long have they been in the business?
Well, it's not a question of the years, because there are some young people in it. It's a question of reaching a certain level of skill and expertise, and then you are ready to do things quickly.
Okay, so you play the violin.
Yes.
So which do you like better, to play or conduct?
I really like both. When I play the violin, last night I was playing violin, I enjoy it, and when I conduct, I enjoy that too.
It's a relaxation.
No, it's not a question of relaxation, actually. It's intense soul searching. I mean, I don't think classical music is just to relax, as people say. It challenges you.
Yeah. How did you get involved in music?
Thanks to my second grade teacher, where I was born, who asked if anybody wanted to study the violin, and I went home, and yes, my mom said, go ahead. And that was it, and I'm very thankful to him ever since.
Was there a specific moment when you wanted to become a professional?
Yes, when I was about 11 or 12. I mean, I had been playing the violin for about 4 years, and then I was just reading a book about Mozart, and there were compositions that he wrote when he was 11, 12, and just listening to music, I just realized that that's what I wanted to do.
So are there any specific musicians that influence you, teachers?
Pretty much all of my teachers. I mean, I had wonderful teachers both in Cyprus, where I was born, and later on at the Royal College of Music in London. I had 2 wonderful violin teachers there, and a terrific, very inspiring theory composition teacher, Bernard Stevens. I'm very thankful to him. He opened my eyes in many ways. To this day, I think about his advice. And then in this country, Ruggero Ricci, and then Gunther Schuller at the Milan Conservatory. I was his assistant. So.
Okay, so you've done a lot of international work. So how is that different from your work here?
It's really, you make music wherever you are. So I don't think it really matters. I mean, you look at the group in front of you, you look at your colleagues, the musicians, and you work with them to prepare the best performance you can.
Okay, so what type of projects are you currently working on?
Currently, I mean, in addition to practicing, well, I started a group called Detroit Camerata, and one of the upcoming projects in February here at Wayne State, I will be performing with a string quartet Bach's the Art of the Fugue. This is the last piece that Bach wrote. And indeed, at the very end, it goes about 70 minutes long, 60 minutes, 70 minutes long. And at the very end, the last fugue, he did not finish. So traditionally, or sometimes people, and that's what I'm going to do, we leave that one movement unfinished, and then we play a chorale by Bach that basically the words are, now I stand in front of you, God.
Cool.
It's he wrote that, basically.
So what would you give, what kind of advice would you give aspiring musicians?
Follow what your heart tells you.
Okay.
I mean, it's the best advice I was given. You know, you really have to pursue what your heart tells you, and you may or may not be able to make a living out of it, but you're certainly going to make a life out of it. And if it ends up that you cannot make a living out of it, you can do something else to support yourself. But if you don't do what your heart tells you, I don't think you're going to have a meaningful life.
Nope. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure.
And thank you for watching MetroArts Detroit. We'd like to welcome filmmaker Lance Kawas to the Midtown studio. Hi.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime. So you're a director, producer, and a screenwriter. Which one is your favorite and why?
I believe directing is my favorite. It gets me to work with actual people instead of just writing. Because when I'm writing, I write for months and I'm always alone. So directing, I interact with people. I get the best and the worst out of them.
So it's like you're in the middle of the action.
I become a psychologist.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So when did you start your career as a filmmaker?
Around 15 years ago, I quit banking. I was working in banking. I thought it was very boring. And I said, life is short. I need some type of meaning for my life. I had gone to the University of Michigan, studied my butt off, and I realized there's more to life than just doing that. And
sitting and looking at numbers all day.
Yeah. So I said, writing is the greatest expression of freedom. I started writing because I believe in a motto: the ink of a scholar is more sacred than the blood of a martyr.
Okay.
So I started writing screenplays.
So that's why you started, because you pretty much got really bored and.
Yeah, I needed more meaning in my life.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've written 30 screenplays and have received 19 national awards. What is the process for your writing? Is it a passion, or do you feel it's a career?
It has to be passion, because when you write a script, if you don't actually smell it, feel it, if it doesn't jump at you, there's no passion, then it's dead. So that has to be passion.
So it's really not a career, it's just
No,
fun.
it has to be passion.
So how would you describe the relationship between you and your characters of your screenplays?
I am my characters of my screenplays. I am each and every one of them, the women, the men, the dogs, the cats, and everybody.
So you have a relationship with the mirror,
Everybody,
essentially.
yes. Because it's kind of, it's your internal life, the bad, the good, the happy, the sad, what you go through in life, your experiences, what you've seen. And I've traveled the world and what I've seen, so I express them in my writing.
That's great.
That's why it has to show.
So we actually have a trailer from your movie, Restitution. Let's take a look.
Thank you.
Miss Thompson? Ma'am, I was wondering if you could help me change a flat tire.
I'm doing research for a book. True crime story about Brian Spikes. You ever heard of him?
I'm reading your eyes. The eyes tell you everything about a person. Are you going to break my heart?
I don't do that anymore.
What made you write a book about a worthless loser like Spikes?
I find psychotic episodes very interesting. When somebody totally sane turns murderously violent.
Who are you? Who sent you?
I assumed
Brian Spikes was a cold-blooded killer.
I saw him the night of the murders, that he was following people involved in insurance fraud. I liked him. I just can't believe that he killed those people.
All the evidence points at him, Heather.
Raiders come in nightly off the lakes.
drugs.
Spikes was set up.
What's taking him so long?
Oh, no, you didn't. How do you know Spikes wasn't involved?
Spikes wasn't capable of murder. I shouldn't have told you anything.
What do you mean? Call the police! Get down! Get out of the way!
Tell me exactly what the hell is going on here.
How can you sign an autopsy report when there's no body for Brian Spikes? Mr. Youngstown, I'm a writer.
I know who you are, Mr. Forrester. No comment.
Everybody works for them.
Let me handle this, okay? Everything will get back to normal. Looks like somebody wants you dead, man.
What are you not telling me?
Why should I trust you?
Alex, you're my only friend.
I don't know if you trust him.
You can trust me.
There's a grave being dug because there is a man who is writing about the dead employees. You think this is all about you? This is my company. Who are you?
Well, Lance, I have to say that was an awesome movie. I actually watched it. Gave you
Thank
5
you.
stars.
Thank you very much.
So, can you tell us more about the movie? Was it all shot in Detroit, or is it all over?
It was shot entirely in Detroit and suburbs of Detroit. The state of Michigan has a good incentive program, and they've been very accommodating. I just actually finished 2 movies back to back this year, all helped by the state of Michigan also with their program, their incentive program.
Okay.
Yes.
As an independent filmmaker and producer, how long does it take you to finish a project like your movies?
Anywhere from 2 years to 3 years. You know, from the inception to the actual writing. Once you get it all done, it takes around 6 to 8 months, maybe a year to finish a good screenplay. And then it takes you another year to raise the money, to get the actors, to get the locations, and to set it all up with the crew.
So how does the funding happen for these movies? Do you hold fundraisers?
No. Funding, you have private equity people and people who are just interested in investing in film, but it's extremely difficult. It's actually one of the most difficult aspects of filmmaking,
So
if
it's
not
the
the
hardest
most.
part.
It is the hardest part, yes.
So, are there any new projects you're currently working on?
Yeah, I just finished 2 movies this year. Fractured, it's a psychological thriller with Eric Roberts and Jake Busey. And Golden Shoes, it's a children's soccer movie. It has Vivica Fox, Montel Williams, John Rhys-Davies, Dina Myers, Eric Roberts. It's got a whole...
A lot of big names.
Big names, yeah. I just finished that one.
Okay, so I know we talked a little bit about it earlier, how you go to LA once a month. Do you want to do most of your movies here and like live here your whole life?
I would like
there?
to stick to Michigan because I don't want to be, I mean, you can make movies anywhere, basically, but I would like to be based in Michigan. I'm actually opening my own production house in January that does feature film, reality shows, and commercials.
So as students from Wayne State are trying to get where you are today, what advice do you give them?
If you give up, you're dead.
So that's it, they're done.
They're done, yes.
So
you
they
can't
have to
give
have-
up on a dream.
Okay, so they have to
And you
have
keep your
passion.
day job, and you just, because that's what I used to do. I saved a lot of money, I kept my day job, but I, honed in on my writing and my skills every day.
So have you thought about taking students from Wayne State on as crew members or interns?
I would love to.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm opening, like I said, my production house in January, and if things work out, I would love to bring in interns.
Okay, well
Why
thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
And you're watching MetroArts on Detroit Public Television. And now I'd like to introduce our next guest, recording artist ZanYe. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thank you for joining us today.
Good, thank you for having me.
So you refer to yourself as a jazzy neo-soul recording artist. Can you tell me the style of your music?
Well, it's simply just a combination of jazz and soul fused together. I grew up listening to things like Coltrane, Billie Holiday, Sarah Vaughan, and so I've just taken a little bit of that and soul and just added it together.
So it's like a big mixture of everything.
Exactly.
So what inspires your music?
I would have to say it would just be situations that are going on around me, life itself, things that, just may ride down the street and think about something. It could prompt me to write something. So it just everything that goes on around us in the world.
So whatever comes to you.
Yep.
Okay, so you were in the movie Sparkle with Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about that experience?
It was actually an awesome experience. Whitney Houston looked great during that time, and she actually, I had an opportunity to hear her sing a cappella after the song was over when she was done, and it was absolutely amazing. I wouldn't trade that experience for the world.
So it's like life-changing.
Yeah, it really was.
Okay.
It really was.
So how can someone find your music if they want to get a hold of you?
Well, they can definitely go to Rhapsody or they can go to iTunes, and the title of the album is My Story Today. They can find it there, or they can simply try to find me on the web and follow me and come to my shows, and we always have CDs available there.
Okay, and can you tell me about the songs you're about to perform?
Sure. Here I Am is one of the first songs that I wrote when I decided to get back into music and everything. And It's Love simply was just written out of a situation that I was going through, and it's about love.
Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for
Can't
having
wait
me.
to hear your music. And now here's ZanYe performing at Midtown Studios.
Sunshine, blue skies, Thursday, 4 p.m. I smiled, and you too. We talked, and here we are today. Whoever said your love is gone was wrong. I got what I prayed for so long, so long. Some people say it goes away, but they don't believe the way I do. It's love, love, it's love, love. We've had our times when we didn't see eye to eye, but your love and God's love kept us right here where we should be. Whoever said your love is strong was make a change. So many things in life can make you lose faith, but it'll get better if you just take a stand and say, I can make it. Yes, I can. I'm feeling stronger. Yes, I am. Moving forward. There's no plan. Look out, dreams. Here I am. Today is the day. So be what you say. Today is the day. So be what you say. I haven't come this far to give up now. I've been aiming high since I was a child. Today is the day. So be what you say. Say I can make it. Yes, I can. I'm feeling stronger. Yes, I am. Moving forward. There's no plan. Look out, dreams. Here I am. Today is the day. So be what you say. Today is the day. So be what you say. Destiny's waiting for you out there. Follow your heart and let it take you there. Keep standing strong when your strength is gone. Hold on. Just hold on. Say I can make it. I'm feeling stronger. Moving forward. Look out, dreams. Here I am. Today is the day. So be what you say. Today is the day. So be what you say.
Well, we hope you enjoyed today's show. I'd like to thank our guests, Kypros Markou, Lance Kawas, and ZanYe for joining us today. I'm your host on MetroArts, Nagshin Nassif, reminding you that art is an international language we can all support.